beautiful.
Welcome back to Notballtalk. It's your host Dietrich. Back at you with another one, and it is finally NBA Finals time. Time to crown an NBA champion coming soon. The two teams we have in it this year is the Boston Celtics and the Dallas Mavericks. Now, I will say, unfortunately, the Timberwolves did lose, but it is a bright path coming for Anthony Edwards. I will say that for sure. He's still 22 years old, even though I want him to win it all this year. The future is real bright for him. He did. I'm glad he made it this far. He did what he had to do. And yeah, the sky's the limit for him. They just needed a little bit more experience, and that's what the Mavericks had over the Timberwolves, in my opinion, and a bunch of other little things too that came down to coaching. But Anthony definitely could have played better. So could have Karl Anthony Towns. The whole team kind of sort of, but that's neither here or there. The Dallas Mavericks won onto them and the Boston Celtics. So, I definitely want to start off with the Eastern Conference. With the Boston Celtics, everybody's saying they had an easy path to the finals. Respectfully so. You're the first seed. Like I said in a previous episode, you're the first seed. You should probably have the easiest path because, you won all those games during the regular season. Granted, the other team they was facing did have multiple injuries almost every series, but they can't control that. You know what I'm saying? They still went out there and handled business and won the games as they should have. Now, one question I do have for you guys is, do you guys think this is the Celtics year or the Celtics championship to finally go out there and win it? They've been to Eastern Conference Finals multiple times behind Jason Tatum. I think like 2 or 3 times. They've been multiple playoff appearances. They have very well experience in the playoffs. And I think they went to the championship in 2022, I believe, and they lost to the Golden State Warriors. Well, they lost to Steph Curry, but that's another conversation for another day. Now, with these guys having this much playoff experience, championship experience, do you think this is finally the year for the Boston Celtics to win a championship? Let me know. Now, on to the team and the gameplay. A lot of more questions I have for you guys. A lot of controversial topics that is going on in the sports media world. A lot of people is really asking of Jason Tatum to finally have his superstar moment or a superstar series. I think it's no better time to have it than the NBA Finals. He's been, like I said before, in cruise control the whole playoff. The whole playoffs, really, in my opinion. He's had a couple games where he's shined a couple light on his game. He caught some heat, did what he had to do, but it's not really in every series. He almost was outplayed by his teammates, and it's not really outplayed. If his teammates have the hot hand, respectfully, you have to keep going to him. Jaylen Brown had a hot hand some games. Derrick Brown had a hot hand some games. You got to keep going to them guys. But I think everybody knows it's Jason Tatum's team, or should be Jason Tatum's team. Even a couple people is questioning that. I still think this is his team. He's always been the number one guy in the Celtics. Jaylen Brown has proven to still score the ball and do magnificent things. I'm not saying he can't be a number one, but Jason Tatum is a number one, obviously, on that team. There's no question. But Jaylen Brown, of course, has had his games where he is number one. But I think it's no better series for Tatum to have it other than the NBA Finals series. I think he definitely should. This should be his moment. I know he hears the critics. I know he hears the analysts. He hears almost everybody talking. This should be it. And if he does this, it should be no question, really, what Jason Tatum can do this whole series. It should be no question. It should be no question him anymore. The reason people have doubts and question him, such as myself, is because it has been known for him to not have the best playoff experiences sometimes in a championship and a lot of games. When they played the Warriors, he didn't play that well. He had a couple games where he did okay, but he didn't play that well overall, and they still end up losing that series. And they had a way better team. Just like in this scenario, some people may think the Dallas Mavericks have the better team. I think roster for roster, the Celtics have the better team, up and down. But this series, it should be this series. If it's not this series, if he plays bad this series, we might have to have some conversations coming soon. Next thing I want to talk about for the Celtics is, like I said, some people think Jaylen Brown is taking over this team because of this playoffs. I think he's not. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think Jaylen Brown is taking over the Boston Celtics as the main guy, as the number one option? Let me know. Also for Jaylen Brown, do you guys think he can keep up this playoff performances that he's been having recently? I think he should. I think with the Mavericks, you're seeing a little bit of better defenders. The Mavericks have been playing outstanding team defense the whole series, especially against the Timberwolves. They played outstanding defense. I think the Timberwolves didn't even score over 110 points in any game. I think the highest they scored was like 105, I believe, to like 109. I believe it was 105, but the Timberwolves didn't score over 110 points in any game. And they played very good defense on Anthony Edwards and forcing him to get the ball up and playing through his teammates, not really him. The Mavericks have been playing great defense, and I think this is going to be not only a challenge for the Mavericks, but it's going to be a challenge for also the Celtics, and especially with Tatum not playing that well so far, or not taking that many shots, I should say, and Jaylen Brown playing great and up to par and, you know what I'm saying, showing out, is going to be a great challenge for him also. And the Mavericks having to pick and choose who they want to stop one night and X, Y, and Z. I think it's going to be great for Jaylen Brown, but I also believe that he can very well keep up this playoff performance, I believe. So, I mean, he's been doing it all playoff long. He's been showing up, showing out. Whenever his number is called, he's arose to the occasion, hitting buzzer beaters, hitting go-ahead shots, tie ball game shots, just performing down the stretch. I think he can keep it up against the Celtics. I mean, against the Mavericks. And I think in order for the Celtics to win, he has to keep it up. Now, another big thing that's coming to the Celtics and that's going to help them is Kristaps Porzingis is now healthy for Game 1. I believe he is playing tonight. And the question that I think, how can Porzingis help the Celtics and ease some of the offensive duties off of Tatum and Jaylen Brown and Derek White, just, what I'm saying, because he's been showing out too. I think, what I'm saying, he brings a lot to the floor. He brings ability to stretch the floor out, just as Al Horford was also, but I think he's a little bit more mobile than Al Horford on offense and defense. He gives you the ability to do a lot of things on defense. And he's going to make Derek Lively and Daniel Gafford also work on the defensive end as far as, him stepping out to the 3-point line. They really didn't have to worry about that a lot with Rudy Gobert last series. They knew he wasn't really doing a lot of that. But just allowing him to stretch the floor, the Celtics to stretch the floor, and those driving kick opportunities, that extra pass going around the 3-point line for him to knock down the three, also his post-up game, it's going to really help them in the pick and roll also. It's going to relieve a lot of stress. Well, not really a lot of stress because, like I said, Al Horford was doing a little bit of those things, but he can do a lot more than Al Horford on the offensive end. And the defensive end is a big-time shot blocker, that 7-foot wingspan, however tall he is. It's going to be very tough to get shots over there. Now, the keys to winning for the Boston Celtics, in my opinion, is, like I said before, you have to play through your superstars. It's finals time. It's championship time. You have to have faith in your superstars. That's for the Mavericks and the Celtics, but definitely for the Celtics because, like I say, you have to have Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown on their A game. And if they're not on their A game, then your role players have to step up. Jrue Holiday has to step up. Derek White has to step up. Porzingis has to step up. Al Horford has to step up. Peyton Pritchard has to step up. Almost everybody that touched that floor has to step up. You can't really have bad minutes, especially not against the Mavericks, because the Mavericks is going to take advantage of everything you throw against them, especially with you being a better team on paper, the better roster. You can't give the Dallas Mavericks no type of opportunities at all. And especially with Kyrie Irving coming back into Boston and he does not like that fan base at all. He's trying to kill that fan base for sure. Playing through your superstar, that's to be first and foremost. You have to get them going early and keep them engaged the whole game on offense and defense side of the ball. Jrue Holiday, you have to bring it on defense side of this series. You don't have an easy task. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum also, because most likely you're going to see a lot of Luka and you're going to see a lot of Kyrie. You're going to have your hands full. You just seen what they did to them boys in Minnesota, and Minnesota was on paper the best defense last year. It's just facts. Jrue Holiday, you're gonna have your hands full guarding Kyrie. He last series he was in kill mode against OKC. He was in laid back mode. He coming to Boston. He gonna be in kill mode. There's no question if he's gonna be in kill mode. Luka, you already know he coming. He trying to average 30, 10, and 10 on you minimum. So I mean, that's yeah. That has to be a key. Is defense. Defense has to be a key. You can't let them just outscore you. Force the ball into other players' hands. You have to force PJ Tucker to beat you. Force Daniel Gafford to beat you. Force them guys to be playmakers. Don't really lose. Try your best not to lose by Luka and Kyrie. Because as you can see, the Timberwolves tried to do that, and you see what happened to the Timberwolves. They're back in Minnesota, unfortunately. Another thing I think that's going to be key for them is paint presence. With the Mavericks running Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively down low, I think it's going to be kind of tough. And the lobs Luka throws, it's going to be tough for you with the only big you really run out there is kind of Kristaps Porzingis and Al Horford. Al Horford is slow, so he's going to be a liability on defense. Jason Tatum may be a little bit too small to really guard down low. So you're going to have to pick your poison. But it's definitely going to be defense. But on offensive side of the ball, I think if you get your pick and roll action going, make Kyrie and Luka work on defense more than what they're used to, I think you can have a good chance of probably pulling out some games. I mean, that's mainly all I have for the Celtics side of the ball. I really hope they don't win because I'm a Lakers fan. I don't want them to see another. I don't want to see them get another championship, but I'll give my prediction at the end of the episode. On to the Mavericks, man. The Mavericks, you guys had a crazy, crazy, crazy ride to the playoffs, facing the Clippers, which is a great team, even though they faced the injury. But nonetheless, they're still a great team, a great roster with playoff experience. But everybody kind of had y'all winning that series. Oh. Excuse me. Then you go on and face Oklahoma City Thunder with a great team and SGA, Chad, J-Dub, man, they've been going crazy all season. You guys came to the occasion and beat them guys, man, in 7, I believe, or 6. I can't really remember which one, but yeah, you guys had a tough ride to this championship. And then in the conference finals, you go out there and play Minnesota Timberwolves and Anthony Edwards, Naz Reid, Rudy Gobert, Karl Anthony Towns, the number one defense in the league during the regular season. You guys ain't have it easy compared to the Celtics, some may say. You guys definitely, had a tough fight, but you guys also have your own playoff experience and Luka and Kyrie and Key coming far and farther into the playoffs, and you guys finally made it to the final destination. With that being said, I really want to know if the Mavericks can keep up this great defense they've been playing all playoffs long, really. Like I said, they really was playing shutdown defense against the Timberwolves, not really allowing them to score over 105, I believe, 110. I can't remember the exact numbers, but it was in between that range. You guys beat them 3-1. 4-1. I apologize. Yeah, it was just great defense being displayed, forcing Anthony Edwards to get a ball up, double team a lot, giving him a lot of different looks he maybe hasn't seen a lot from other teams, and force him to be more so a playmaker first and a scorer second. Because if you're sending double teams their way, it's kind of hard for him to score, and you're kind of closing the paint on him, shrinking the paint, and then it made it a little bit easier once Karl Anthony Towns wasn't really playing his best ball, like 7 foot, not really getting paint touches in. Like it really was like 4-on-6 out there, but. Nonetheless, you guys made it. Y'all deserved it. Y'all earned it. Kyrie Irving came alive. Luka did what Luka does. Luka Magic. And Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively, saying they did what they had to do in taking care of business. Now, I just want to see you guys keep it up against the Boston Celtics, because that is a tough roster over there. Everybody could shoot. Everybody could score. And they're great also on defense, just like you guys. It's going to be a great matchup. Another question I have for the Mavericks is, can the role players step it up? And if the role players can step up, who is it going to be? We've seen P.J. Tucker have a couple games. We've seen Dale Gafford have a couple games. Derek Lively a couple games. If you guys want to win this series, I think everybody has to come together for at least, at minimum, 5 games. I don't see y'all winning in 5, but anything is possible. But at minimum 5 games, all your role players are going to have to come alive and take stress off of Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic, because the Celtics is going to try as much as they can to make it tough for Luka and Kyrie, especially Kyrie. So you guys are really going to have to, the role players really going to have to step up and bring something to the table for sure. And how well can y'all guys offense attack the Celtics defense? Like I said, the Celtics I think they was a top 3 rated defense in the regular season, I believe. They have a lot of defenders across the floor, and Drew Holiday, Derek White, Jaylen Brown could guard, Jason Tatum could sit and guard. Like I said, Porzingis being a great rim protector. It's not going to be easy. So I really want to see how well your offense can, play against that, keep up the tempo. I'm not questioning Mavericks offense. I've seen it time and time again. I've seen what you guys did to the Timberwolves defense. Your offense really isn't a question, but how can you keep it up throughout a 5, 6, 7 game series against the Boston Celtics, which is a championship caliber roster and talent on defense over there? And a question I have for you basketball heads, people who watch a lot of basketball, who break down a lot of game. If you're the Mavericks offense, the Dallas Mavericks coach, what would be your point of attack on offense? What would be your emphasis? Would you throw a lot of pick and rolls out there? Would you have Luka working off ball and carry more on ball? Would you keep the ball in Luka hands more, work and carry off ball? And just give me some ideas on what you guys will work out there. Now, the last question I really have for the Mavericks side of the ball, and really for a lot of basketball fans, is if the Mavericks go out there and win this series, if they win this championship. Now, we already know how great Luka is, X, Y, and Z. We know how great Kyrie is. how well would this championship help Jason Kidd's career if he wins it? Just let me know. Give me some thoughts on that. Give me some feedback on that. I really want to know because Jason Kidd he get a lot of backlash, a lot of bad things said about him sometimes as far as like his coaching wise, X, Y, and Z. But I think he kind of rose to the occasion almost every time. It is his number has been called as far as him having to make a coaching play or adjustment and what he has to do. So just let me know how well would this ring affect Jason Kidd's coaching career if he gets it. Now I'm gonna end off this episode with my prediction and another question for you guys. If Jason Tatum loses this series and plays bad or not up to his superstar caliber play, how would this affect his legacy and how would this affect him being a Boston Celtic with them having a lot of playoff pushes, a lot of playoff runs, and he hasn't really showed up to par so far in this playoff run and as well as other playoff runs. Lastly, my prediction. Unfortunately, with me knowing basketball, I kind of think the Boston Celtics is going to win this series. Only because the roster is a little bit deeper. They play a lot of good defense, and they can also score the ball at high volume. Now, they can very well go out there and lose it, just like how they lost to the Warriors that one year, only to Steph Curry. They have proven it before, but this is a different roster, a different team, a different everything. But I do believe the Boston Celtics will probably win it in 6 or 7. Great team. That's just me knowing basketball and knowing their roster, X, Y, and Z. That's if everything goes well, of course. It's basketball. Anything can happen. But with me being a hater, I really want the Mavericks to win. Like I said, I don't want the Boston Celtics to go out there and win this championship because I am a Lakers fan. But with me being a hater, I do want the Dallas Mavericks to go out there and win a championship. I want to see Kyrie get another one. But unfortunately, I just think that the Celtics have a better team, better roster. And defense win games, defense win championships. So the Boston Celtics could go out there and play good defense. I think they could win this series, unfortunately. That's all I got for you guys today. This is not Ball Talk. It's your host, Dietrich, signing off.
He passed me the ball. He never passed me the ball. He passed me the ball. He passed me the ball.